mute. And then if you have any questions, just type them in the chat and I'll address them at the end. So let's get started. This is effective marketing for family photographers, and I have my notes right here so I don't forget to say anything. So if you see me looking down, that is all I'm doing. So let's see. Okay, so hello, I am Lindsay Herkert. I'm the owner of Lindsay Herkert Photo Company. I've been in the photography business for about 11 years now. And I'm just going to pause really quick. If everyone can just put their phone on mute, that would be so helpful. And then we'll just address questions at the end of this presentation. Thank you so much. Okay, so I built my photography business twice. Once was in San Diego, and then I had to do it again when we had a surprise move to Austin in the end of 2017. The first time I built my business, I kind of did it organically. We had lived in San Diego for a really long time. I had a ton of friends and family, and I sort of built it as I was learning photography. When we moved, I didn't know a single soul, and I was faced with just starting from scratch. So I'm going to talk about how I successfully and quickly did that in Austin during this video. I have 3 kiddos. I love outdoor adventures like snowboarding and surfing and wakeboarding. I love chai tea and I love to bake. So that's just a little bit about me. You are probably here because, wait, I have to switch over my notes. You've been working really hard to build your business. You're posting on social media. You're advertising mini sessions. You're most likely discounting to friends and family. But you aren't attracting enough of the right clients. As I was writing this today, or actually this week, I was thinking about how much my business is built on attracting the right clients, not just clients, but the right ones who value your craft and are willing to pay high prices for it. Whether you are trying to build a really big business and make over $100,000 a year, or you just want to kind of keep it on the side as a part-time thing, no matter what, you want to attract the right clients. Otherwise, you get burnt out and you feel devalued and you start feeling frustrated. I've been on both sides of the coin, and I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get the right clients. So you're also here if you're ready to crack the code and start making real money doing what you love, and you want to be seen as a family photographer in your area that families are dying to work with and who ask to get on your calendar months in advance. So let's see. Okay. A lot of family photographers reach a certain point and then they get stuck. You kind of start getting momentum, but then you can't sort of break through the ceiling of being busy and being profitable. So sometimes it's because like workshops don't teach you what you need to do with your images. A lot of people, like only 3% of people finish online courses, let alone actually implement what they're learning. Like for me, I need a little more hand holding when I'm having big changes, within my business. Hope isn't a marketing strategy. Producing beautiful images and then hoping people notice and insist on booking you and paying you doesn't work. I think sometimes as photographers, we think it's going to work like that, but it just doesn't. So knowing what you have to do and actually doing them are 2 separate things. Sometimes we have limiting beliefs about money or perfectionism or overthinking, kind of get that analysis paralysis. I've definitely been there. I think number 5 is probably the most important. Sometimes as family photographers, we kind of like slide back and forth as a hobbyist and a professional. And a lot of times our friends and family kind of see us and view us more as a hobbyist. And you can get stuck in this like being busy, but not being profitable because you're just like, taking pictures for your friends and family and discounting and everything. And then you don't have time to actually work on the big picture. This happened to me in San Diego and I didn't even realize it until I built my business the right way. But looking back, like I realized how busy I was, but not actually profitable. And the people I was discounting for ended up taking up so much time. It didn't allow me the time to actually build my business the right way. So last spring, I created this course called Systems for Success. And it's you learn how to create the family photography business you've always dreamt of, with marketing systems in place that work on autopilot to consistently bring in ideal clients, with pricing strategies that build you a profitable and sustainable business, and with systems in place that create an unforgettable and pleasant experience for not only you, or not only your clients, but also you. So I think the most important thing about this course and the way I built it was so that you have community to help you. I think as photographers, it can be sort of an isolating career because you're sort of on your own. I come from a marketing background, and I used to market for a home builder with multi-million-dollar budgets, and marketing as a creative entrepreneur is a completely different business. So the course includes community, a lot of hand-holding from me, and everything is created in bit-sized pieces, so it's easy to digest and implement, and you're never staring at a blank screen or a blank piece of paper. Everything is actionable, and lots of templates and everything to get you started. So, okay, so this is where you're going to want to grab a piece of paper and a pen, and also I'm going to highlight when you might want to take a screenshot of your screen so you can keep those notes. Today I'm going to go over the 3 steps that are so important for effective marketing for family photographers. And some of these steps you may have heard before, and it's just going to like reaffirm what you already know, and there's going to be definitely new things that you're learning too. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is identifying your ideal client. This is a step that a lot of people don't really dial in on. And it's so important to do because if you're talking to everyone, then you're reaching no one. And just knowing who your ideal client is so important for actually reaching that ideal client. And like I've said before, marketing to the right people is like the foundation of building a good business. But something I think that a lot of people don't teach when they're talking about like marketing to your niche or your ideal customer or your customer avatar is that you need to know who you are as a photographer first and be consistent in what you're putting out there, because like you don't want to be editing in all these different styles or producing kind of work that's all over the place. You need to figure out who you are as a photographer, what you want to offer your clients, and what makes you happy. And only by figuring that out first can you figure out who you want to actually attract. So I go over this in depth in Systems for Success, but what I want to give you today is if you choose 3 words that describe your work as a photographer and stick to those 3 words, then it helps you. It's like a guiding light to kind of help you in what you show people and put out there to attract the right people. So if like you feel like you're more of an emotive photographer, you don't want to put out like editing that's bright and white and cheerful. Or if you want a client closet, then you need to be showing work that is all based on sort of, that client closet kind of look. So it pays to get really clear on who you are and then think about who you want to attract based on who you are as a photographer. So it is only by like figuring out who you want to attract that you can present them with a message that moves them to action. So I've said this before, but it's so easy to skip this step, and it's a step that you just can't skip. So my advice is like do B- work when you get started. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's an internal document for you to have. write it down and figure out the language that your ideal client will connect with. So the best way to do this is to imagine a family you would love to work with. This can be someone you've worked with in the past. This can be yourself. Like when I did this for my own, for my company, I thought of myself because I was my ideal client. Like I value photography. I used to hire the same photographer all the time when my kids were little. I loved her. I got on her calendar quickly. So I thought of myself, and you have to write down like what types of locations would they like, what kind of photos resonate with them, what are the words that they use to describe these photos. Something very important is what is challenging for these clients. Like when booking a photo session, are they really busy and it's hard, like just time consuming? Is it not top of their mind? Do they need reminders? Do they get overwhelmed with choosing clothes? And we need to solve these problems for them. And what questions do they have? Like what are the questions that they have, and how can we easily answer these for them on our website and in our communication to them? Okay. So why is it important to identify your target market? Because of the client experience. Like the client experience and your experience with them actually starts with your marketing. So a well-informed client and one who has done their research is going to be your best client. I have so many examples of this, but like even if people refer someone to me or somebody finds me in a way that's not through my website and they haven't done a lot of research, or they just text me or something, I always, no matter what, will send them to my website and say, I just want to make sure that my style is the type of photography you're looking for and that my prices are okay with you, because my prices are high and my style is my style, and I don't want to be in a photo shoot and have someone telling me how they want me to edit their photos, or show me pictures from another photographer and ask me to like recreate that. That is just like soul crushing. So we want to avoid that at all costs. An amazing client experience begins with the pairing of the right photographer with the right family. And by creating a great experience and attracting the right people, then you aren't having to remarket to these people, and you start building up a great client base. So again, like attracting the right client is so important. Okay, so step 2, and the most important step, I think, well, not the most important step, but a vital step to the process, is driving people to your website. So you want to stop hoping and duct tape marketing, but you want to create a reliable marketing strategy. If you don't know how many visitors you have to your website, it's something you should probably find out either through Google Analytics or just usually the back end of your website you can find out. And if you are not bringing in at least 500 people a month, you're probably struggling a bit. I bring in somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000 people a month that are just viewing my website. So, and Google is the MVP of marketing. It is like, there's so many different ways that you can market yourself nowadays. There's like TikTok and Instagram and all these different options, but Google is the best place to focus your efforts. So I do this through organic traffic, through my landing pages and resources, which are blogs, and then through paid traffic ads. And investing in Google Ads is the best thing I have ever done for my business. It was a game changer for me. When I first moved to Austin, and I was really sad to have to rebuild my business, I kind of like felt sorry for myself for a little while. And then I thought, I'm just going to invest in some different workshops and really learn how to do it the right way. And I was actually super disappointed in the lack of actionable items I was learning from some of the courses that I had signed up for. And I was at a workshop and I was complaining to another photographer, and she had built a really good business, and she said, you need to do Google Ads. And that one piece of advice like completely changed everything for me. And I'm going to talk more about it and why it works so well and how effective it is, particularly for photographers versus like other businesses, and how we can do it pretty inexpensively. So let's go to the next page, and I'm going to talk more about using Google. So you might want to screenshot this page, but it basically, I use both Google Google Ads and SEO to drive people to my website. The difference between the two is that like SEO is like free, and Google Ads you're actually paying. You're paying per click. And the speed of the results, like SEO is kind of a long-term strategies where Google Ads provides immediate results, and it is crazy how quickly they work. You have more control over Google Ads with your timing and your budget, and specifically the keywords that you use. And you have a little less control over rankings in SEO, but it's still worth it to set it up correctly. So those are like the basic overviews. I would say cost and time are your two biggest differences between Google Ads and SEO. But I think that the two of them together is just like a powerhouse for driving and the right people to your website. Okay, so within my course, Systems for Success, I go into SEO quite a bit. And it's actually changed a lot this past year. I've been doing a ton of research. I think a lot of it has to do with AI and the introduction of AI. But what has happened is like Google usually does an update to their algorithm, which affects like your ranking, every month. And maybe once a year will do a core update, which kind of changes how everything works. And this past year, they did 3 core updates. So it's just been huge. I've been working with a coach to just stay on top of everything. And so I feel like the knowledge that I have to share is very up to date. What I want to talk about today is SEO involves internal SEO and external SEO. External SEO is linkbacks. So getting your website linked on another website, like another photography website. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. The more link backs you have, the more powerful your SEO is. But it's only powerful if your internal SEO is good, which basically means like your website is set up correctly. And the best and quickest advice I have today is like, where would you put your keywords? So we'll use the keyword family photographer as an example. And you want to put your keywords in the title tag, the H1 tag, and in your page copy like 2 to 3 times. It doesn't have to be overly stated. And this is one of the things that has changed this last year. Like keyword stuffing used to be kind of a thing, and it is not anymore. And I do believe this is because of AI, because the computers are getting smarter and learning how to infer. But one of the most important things when we are putting our keywords on our website is that we don't want to create keyword cannibalization, which is where you have multiple keywords on one page. So for example, on my portfolio page for my family photography is the only keyword that I have there. I wouldn't want to put in like newborn photography also on this page, because then Google doesn't know which keyword to rank for. So on your landing pages or on each portfolio page you have on your website, there needs to be one specific keyword that is focused there. And you do that by putting those keywords on the places I have listed here. You don't want to have them kind of sprinkled throughout, because it's like they work against each other then. So that is how you have your internal SEO set up really well. And then you work on getting linkbacks for your external SEO. It's definitely more involved in that. And we do go over that in Systems for Success, but that is really the basic advice I can give you in this webinar. Is just focusing on that. Okay. So I just want to talk about Google versus social media for a second. I do use social media, but it's in a very supportive way. It is not my primary place that I focus on. I don't ever feel stressed about it or feeling like I have to post at the right time or certain times. I view social media as more of a place to connect with people. And it's just kind of like a living portfolio for me. So it just shows that I'm active, but I don't buy into all the algorithm things and have to worry about it. And I don't have to do this because my Google strategy is working so well. And once you have it set up, you don't have to really worry about it. It's not something you have to constantly be like, jumping on reels and doing all that stuff. So Google versus social media is, so you can see that Google's working through your conversions where you can't really see what's happening with your efforts with social media. And conversions are another way of saying inquiries. And on Google, you're capturing demand versus on Instagram, you're trying to generate demand. And the time and the effort it takes to generate demand versus capture demand is it's like night and day. So social media is more of an interruptive style of advertising, whereas on Google, you're capturing people when they're directly searching for something. So like they're looking for a family photographer, and then you, through SEO and paid ads, you appear for them and you appear to the right people that are looking for the type of photography that you offer. And then on social media, you're looking more at an audience, whereas in Google, you're using keywords, which is more specific to gain the right clients. And with Google, you can optimize so easily. It's just so you can look at the results, you can see what's working, and you can tweak it. And it's just amazing the power that you have. So when that photographer spoke to me about Google Ads, I immediately put my hands up because I did not want to have to pay money every month or be on, to me, it just seemed like a lot of money to be on the hook for every month. So I spend $300 a month on Google Ads. I would say that if you want to do Google Ads, you should plan on spending anywhere from $150 to $300. And when I was talking to her about it, she said, if you are priced right, then you will more than make up the investment each month based on what the Google Ads brings in. So that helped me to not be as scared to invest in it. It is so amazing because it is a targeted reach. With Google Ads, you have the power to target a specific geographic location. And I think this is the biggest advantage for us. You actually have a radius that you are targeting of people near you. So you're not spending money on people that wouldn't be near you. And it's intent-based advertising. So when someone searches for a family photographer on Google, it's a clear indication that they're actively looking to hire a professional for their family portraits. And by running Google Ads, you can position your services right in front of these individuals at the very moment they're searching, increasing the chances of turning them into loyal clients. It's just like the most amazing advertising. And earlier I had spoken about how I hired a coach earlier this year to make sure I was doing it correctly with all the core changes of Google. And because I was creating Systems for Success, I just really wanted to make sure I understood why and how my Google Ads were running. Even though I've been running them since 2019 and been working great, I needed help understanding them. And when he looked at my return on investment, he was blown away. He said that he works with doctors and dentists, and he said they spend like $1,500 a month to get like 1 or 2 clients, and I'm spending $300 a month to get, anywhere from 5 to 15 inquiries, and most of the time those inquiries are like book with me, and it's because they've like my website's already done the heavy lifting. My Google ads are very targeted to them. So it's just such a good system to have in place. Okay. So once I started focusing on driving people to my website instead of playing the social media game and discounting to friends and family and all of that stuff, kind of spinning my wheels, it had a huge change, not just in that I was attracting the right clients, but just on my mentality. I became more confident in my photography because I was attracting the right people, and I didn't feel like I was begging for work. People were begging me as a photographer, and it's crazy kind of just what that does to your mentality. As I said before, just being a creative entrepreneur is such a different business to be in than anything else. We're not selling a commodity. We're selling an experience, we're selling a service, and we're selling art. So having the right marketing is not only important for attracting the right clients, but also just for our own well-being. I wasn't having to sell through gimmicks and discounts. People were coming to my website, seeing my pricing and my style, and then reaching out to me. So I wasn't having to like validate why my prices were high. I wasn't worried about where my next booking is coming from. Obviously, as photographers, we're in a seasonal situation, like we're just ending our busy season, and this next season's typically a slow season. But like I was editing yesterday, and as I was editing, I'm booking, like I already have so many bookings for January. So I was just thinking how awesome it is that I don't even have to do anything. The people are just coming to me. This is a behind the scenes. I just pulled this from this last week. This is called Google Analytics 4. It's on the back end of my website, and it tells me exactly where my traffic is coming from. So you can see the power of this. It's like 70% is Google. It's the organic search, which is my SEO, which I've really dialed in this past year. I've just done a ton of research. And then the paid traffic is my Google ads. The blue is a direct search. So they know my name and they're looking for me. This is probably past clients. And this is social media, which has actually gone up a little bit because since creating systems for success, I thought, oh, I should probably be more present on social media so that people see that I'm busy with photography. But usually, like, I don't really put a lot of effort into social media. There's been years where I've posted very little. So I just wanted to show you the behind the scenes for that. Okay, we're at our final step of effective marketing for family photographers. And I am going to talk to you about pricing and how important it is to be priced for profit and to raise your prices. And when I moved here and started like really diving into how to have like build a good solid photography business instead of just kind of duct taping everything together, I was working with a coach, and one of the first things she said to me was that higher prices weaken competition. And I had never thought of it like this before, but if you're kind of priced in that like middle zone where you're not like super cheap, but you're kind of like in the middle, that is where so many photographers are. And so you have so much more competition. And then I also used to be afraid to raise my prices because I thought I would get more difficult clients, but it is actually the exact opposite. You get clients who value you and see you as the expert and treat you as the expert and listen to what you're saying. Like, they look to me to tell them where to shoot, the locations. They're not asking me to take pictures at a park near their house, or can they just have like a quick photo shoot down the street, what's convenient for them. Or most of the time they listen to my style advice. Not all the time, but most of the time they do. Another pricing thought I wanted to share with you is that the minimum price on your website needs to be one you are happy to leave the house for. So I do offer mini sessions, but I do not have that pricing on my website. I don't talk about it on my website. I have a little thing at the bottom that says, if you're interested in mini sessions, sign up here for to get information or on the newsletter. And it's a way to capture emails, but I'll give a really good example. I used to have part of my photography business, I offer branding, and my branding package is pretty expensive. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to offer a smaller package to do headshots. And what was happening, I was finding, is that people were using that headshot package, which was supposed to be, 15 minutes and just a few images. And it's my fault because I'm a people pleaser. Like, what I was ending up doing was something so similar to my very expensive package. And so I just took those off of my website. I just don't want to leave my house for less than a certain amount anymore. My time is too valuable. So I highly recommend, even if you have lower priced items that you're offering, like keep them on hidden pages, and make sure you're just showing those pages to people that are like really good clients that you're happy to do that for. So raising your prices is super scary, I know, but every time I raise them, I get kind of nervous. And then one client books, and all you need is one client to book. And then for the rest of time, like you will never not get paid that amount again. And it's a wonderful feeling. So, and the last thing I want to say is that it's okay to do competitive research when developing your prices. I know that there's different thoughts on this, and some people say, like, don't just look at other photographers. But to me, it helps me feel more courage to raise my prices. But that's not the only thing you need to do to raise your prices. And I'm going to get into that right now. So your basic thoughts on making sure you're profitable, this is just like basic business, is you take your income and you minus your expenses. And if this number is greater than 0, then you are profitable. I mean, that's just like basic business. And luckily for us, we can run our business with not a ton of expenses. But there are other things that are important to take into account that I don't think people do. And that is your time and the preparation and your investment in yourself and your equipment and your knowledge and your creativity, that spark and that magic that you bring to a photo session that only you can bring, So what you need to do is find out the average session cost to be profitable. And with this number, you base all your pricing off of this. So the goal is to create a pricing structure that is profitable without requiring you to work like 60 hours a week. And there's 2 variables that affect your bottom line, and they're the number of clients you take on and what you charge per client. The prices you charge need to cover your average session costs to be profitable and align with the level of service you offer. So I'm going to jump out of, whoops, we have a person waiting. I'm going to jump off of here, and I'm going to show you the calculator that comes with Systems for Success and how it works. This is math that you can certainly do on your own, but having this calculator just really helps you to understand your numbers and your time, which is so important. So let's see if I can, how do I get out of here? Okay. So this is a calculator you get in Systems for Success, and it asks you to write what you want to make per year. And you can either say okay, I want to make $50,000 a year, or you could do it in a way that says I want my photography business to be able to cover our daycare expenses for the year or our car payment for the year. So you can choose how you want to divide this out. And then you write down all your expenses. This would be like your insurance and your website expenses and any equipment that you need to buy. And then you figure out how many photo sessions like you want to do a year, the average time in minutes per session, and the average prep and editing time per session in minutes. And with all these numbers, if you plug them into the calculator, it gives you like your shooting rate, your editing rate, and the average session cost to be profitable. So this would be like your bottom line. Like you do not want to have a session on your, or a price on your website that is lower than this. This is like such a powerful number to know and understand. And I realize like you guys don't have access to this calculator, but if you go on my Instagram feed under my photography tips, my business photography tips, I write out the equations for you on one of them. You just kind of scroll through and look for the pricing tip. I write out the equations for you. So if you wanted to figure this out on your own, obviously it's harder because you're, hand doing it, but figuring this out will just help you be so much more powerful in knowing your pricing and how to be profitable in your pricing.